Dave Palumbo, and today's guest is our 2019 IFBB Battle of Texas Classic Physique Champion. He's going to the Olympia. Sami Ghanem, welcome to the studio.
Thanks for having me, Dave.
I knew when I asked you, you'd come driving down here all the way from Boca Raton. I knew when you'd be an issue.
No hesitation.
Because you're a very intense guy. You know what you want. You give 100%. You know, Chris Cecito's your trainer. We've talked about you on the radio show. He said you're one of the most intense guys he's ever worked with.
Yeah, I guess you can say I'm very annoying.
But that's good because you get good results because of that.
Yeah, try to. That's what the goal is always.
Chris, I say, Chris, you should set limits on how many texts you get per day per person.
Oh, man.
He's an over-texter, too, though. You just can't understand what he texts a lot of times.
Meal 2, switch chicken 3-5.
Yeah. I got to tell you, he sends me texts. I have no idea what he's talking about.
Best been or peeled. Yeah, it's like his thing.
He's got his own, like, shorthand of
pseudo language.
Yeah, exactly. Let's talk bodybuilding here. You started as a wrestler in high school.
Mm-hmm. I actually weighed 120 pounds in a year.
Wow. And how tall are you?
I'm 5'4" and a quarter.
So that's not so bad for 120 pounds. Like if you were like my height and 120 pounds, that would be really skinny. You probably
it's pretty dense.
Right. I'm saying, what would you? I mean, in high school, what could you possibly wrestle at? The guys who were 140 were probably like 5'8" or 9, right?
No, some of them are short.
Really?
Stocky, yeah.
All right. So how did you do as a wrestler?
I had the drive, the work ethic, and stuff like that, but the technique wasn't there. It didn't come natural. Like bodybuilding, because I was a show off, it always came natural to me. Flexing, posing in the mirror, smiling, being the center of attention.
So were you an above average wrestler?
Yeah, I made it to secondary regionals. Lost the quarter round to go to actual states.
What, as a wrestler, I always wanted to know this, and maybe give me this insight. I hate talking to guys who are great at it because a lot of times they don't even know why they're so great. But what does it take to be a great wrestler? What separates like the guys like yourself that were really good from excellent wrestlers?
Patience, honestly.
In what sense? Just waiting for your right move?
Waiting for the right move, how to use your hips. I mean, with a guy like me that has ADHD and is always in a rush and is very intense and very explosive, it didn't correlate.
So the good guys can neutralize you, in other
100%.
words. But probably the guys that weren't that good were intimidated by you.
And I didn't realize until later on that it wasn't about muscling. It was more about technique, figure out, wait for someone to shoot. If you're a defensive wrestler, be a defensive. If you're offensive, be an offensive. Right. I just didn't have that coordination on that standpoint.
Did you like the whole discipline of the wrestling and starving to make weight and all that stuff?
I loved it because at the end of the day, like, dude, it made me into something I thought I'd never become.
Right. Did they do the whole starvation thing when you were still wrestling too, 100%. Or has it changed now?
No, dude, it's still the same shit.
It's weird with all the diet techniques we have now and all the knowledge we have about diet that it hasn't like translated over to the wrestling community.
No, I mean I did maintain a good diet. Like it was still a bad diet, but like for instance, Fiber One bars, apples, turkey slices.
You know, it's funny when we were talking about my FiberLife product. You were saying how you liked it, and you work for Blackstone Labs, by the way. Are you the head of sales?
Yeah.
Congratulations on that. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I was looking at making a fiber bar, and I'm like, all right, well, what's the most popular fiber bar on the market? And it's Fiber One.
That was the bar, the chocolate.
The funny thing is, there's no fiber in it. You know what the fiber source of Fiber One is? It's like guar gum or something like that. There's xanthan gum or something like that. It's just a thickening agent. Doesn't really have any positive health benefits. It's just it just holds the sugar together that's in the bar.
It tastes really good. That's the one thing I look forward to.
Yeah, of course, because you're tasting candy bar.
Exactly.
With the knowledge back. When did you learn how to start eating?
Probably after senior year of high school. So my first bodybuilding show, which was in 2015.
Well, now, how did you get into bodybuilding? Was it just like a natural progression from
always lifted. I started lifting when I was in 8th grade. Bench press, push-ups, pull-ups. Started with that, and then obviously you can't train chest every day.
Sure.
After that, when high school was over, the only thing I had to do was go to school, work, and the gym. I look forward to the gym, so it was pre-workout at NutriShop, drink it, slam it down, go hit chest.
Why is it that all young guys just do pre-workouts and branch chain amino acids? Is that, I mean,
that's the first thing we know. And then I'm a curious and I'm an advocate on trying things all the time. So I tried my first test booster, and then
It's weird that I've been working tirelessly to try to educate people as to what you really need and what would be considered like a luxury product, like the pre-workouts and the branched chain amino acids. But it seems like kids are brainwashed by that, and I think that's why they probably sell so well.
It's the best selling product on the market, a pre-workout.
I know.
It's the staple supplement. But
I don't even make one. That's the funny thing. I stopped making one because
but if people really know, the staple supplement is a protein or BCAAs.
Sure. Now it's funny because when I was in high school, I don't think people even drank coffee in high school. No one even knew about stimulants. Nowadays, I'm surprised they don't have drink machines with Monster Energy drinks in them.
There's so many stimulants out there. It's insane.
Isn't it crazy though?
I mean, we have so many ingredients. There's 12 different DMHAs.
I know.
It's insane.
It is weird. It is crazy. All right, let's go back to the bodybuilding. So you decide you're going to be a bodybuilder. What age is this? About 21?
This was 21.
Now, prior to this, we should take a step back because it wasn't all bells and glory.
No,
you had a little run of going out and partying for a while.
Yeah, from the age of 18 to about 21.
What happened? Did you discover like girls? I mean, what went on?
I discovered I got a car after having a moped all senior year, and right after that, driving and being able to have fake ID and buy alcohol.
And you grew up in Boca too, which is
Boca, very easy access to alcohol.
Yeah, plus all the kids there have money and stuff like that. 100%. So
I mean, I wasn't born for money. I'll definitely tell you that.
But it's a high.
There was a party like they could have made an app back then of how many addresses used to get sent out for parties.
Oh really?
It was insane.
And the houses are crazy there.
Huge, and then you'd destroy it, and you would wonder what the parents would think after. But
the parents wouldn't even care.
Long story short, the last big epidemic that really changed everything was probably I was out in a place called O'Brien's, and we were drinking nonstop. And literally, I wasn't going to drive. I was actually teaching my friend how to drive stick shift, and being at the car, the keys were in the ignition. I was belligerently drunk, and I was showing him how. It was in the parking spot, but since the keys were in the car, I did get pulled over, and I got arrested that time.
So they actually took you in the squad car,
and I did the breathalyzer.
Cool thing.
Bad.
Like how much?
Like a point. I couldn't remember off the top of my head.
But it was over the limit.
Yeah, it was definitely over the limit. I mean,
was it
Captain
DWAI
Morgan,
or DWI?
It was DW.
I don't even know what the designation is anymore. Like driving while intoxicated, was it?
Well, you can't really consider driving intoxicated. It would be a DUI. Driving under the influence, I guess you could say, because it's not really driving. But the cool thing is, in the state, I obviously worked my dick off, and 15 grand later, was able to get it dropped to reckless driving.
All right, so they gave you a pass essentially because
it
was
your
first time.
Yeah, and they saw my background. They knew I was a good kid. I wasn't trying to get in trouble.
Now, if you would ever get a DUI again, you would be through, probably, right?
Probably. Yeah, no, I don't think so. In this day and age,
they give you 3 strikes. No,
I'm pretty sure.
I don't know.
I may be wrong.
You know what? I get news for you. I know guys that have had, I think 2 of them. Their insurance is through the roof because of that.
Well, that's the thing. They couldn't. I didn't do it. I didn't drive. It was literally actually I was trying to be responsible and not drive. It's just my dumbass friend. He's not a dumbass, but he just didn't get the comprehension of how to drive a stick shift. Gotcha. I had to tell you.
You probably shouldn't have been trying to teach him while you were drunk, too. Right?
That wasn't. That was very irresponsible.
But you know what? I bet you probably could have gotten caught doing something a lot worse because you guys were. 100%. You said you were out going crazy for a couple of years.
My
right?
friend took my truck earlier and did donuts around the parking lot. That's what caused the commotion.
All right. So you in essence, it was a wake up call for you.
100%. And dude, that was. If you want to talk about tragedy when you were asking me earlier, that's a tragedy. That was a year that woke me the fuck up.
Were your parents pissed off?
Oh, dude, you have no idea. I mean, they couldn't do anything, but I was still paying my phone bill. But
I'm saying when you're a kid, it's like you can't even work it off. Really,
dude, I had a breathalyzer in my car for 6 months.
Oh, they put one in.
Blowhums suck. Every time.
Really?
No, dude, it would be stuck on 95 sometimes, and the car would shut off. Can't even turn it on.
Why would that be?
Because you have to pull over.
Every so often you have to blow into it?
And then it would go do-do-do-do.
And I'm sure it's embarrassing too, especially if a girl in the car, right?
Dude, girl, I still pull, so I didn't care. I mean, but yeah, it was pretty embarrassing. Trust me. Especially the fact that one time I wasn't getting the whole rhythm down, And it was really pissing me off, and it literally locked my car, and I had to tow it all the way back to 6th
you
Ave.
know, it just won't start after.
Oh yeah,
if
you know,
if
it locks your car.
Holy shit! How embarrassing is that? Yeah, especially.
I've tried so many times to unlock that bitch, but it wouldn't work.
And so you had to have it towed.
Yeah, you have to tow $75 to get it towed there, and then $150 to get it recalibrated.
Oh my god, what a pain! And so 6 months you had that?
Yeah, 6 months.
That would be enough for me never to want to.
That's what got me into bodybuilding, and then training. It was it was like, it turned me off to drinking so much that I never wanted to go out in my life again.
The good thing about bodybuilding is it's really kind of anti-alcohol, because alcohol 100%. Is just like the worst drug to use if you're a bodybuilder.
I promise you.
It does. You don't build muscle.
It eats muscle.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So you get into bodybuilding, you kind of change that obsession from drinking and partying and having a good time to I'm going to build my body.
100%.
How long does it take you to build a physique that's ready to go for a pro card?
I mean, it took me 3 years.
How many pounds of muscle did you put on in that 3 years?
So I started at 154, and now I'm 175.
So you put almost 20 pounds of muscle on.
It's not bad, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not putting on 10 pounds of muscle a year, but
it was pretty close.
Pretty close.
So what was the first bodybuilding show you did?
I did the 2015 Florida Grand Prix.
And how'd you do that?
I won the overall.
Okay, so that's a nice way to kind of like say, hey, maybe I'm doing the right thing, right? I mean, that definitely bites.
It did bite. It did bite me in the butt. Thinking I had that overall drive, and then I went to Team U, took second.
And you won the overall as a
lightweight.
As a lightweight. So you did bodybuilding.
Yeah.
When did you do Classic for the first time?
Classic was a last minute change up with me and Chris and PJ. About 3 weeks out before Nationals in 2018.
Oh, so you were a bodybuilding the whole time?
Yeah,
up until I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
So just then when you did Nationals, you said, hey, I can make the weight class.
Yeah.
And what was your weight class at the amateur level?
164.
Wow. So I'm sure you had to really suck down for that.
That was brutal, definitely.
So you do the Nationals, you get your pro card, and now you're like, okay, what am I going to do?
Well, I would have got destroyed in 2018 if I would have even tried to step on pro level stage, because the amount of size these guys had. And
right. Well, because the weight class is higher. What's your cutoff now?
175.
Right. So you got another 10 pounds to grow.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm always in a rush. Like, and I had to slow it down, but I still rushed the off season. It was only like 9 months.
Tell this story about when you first contacted Chris to work with him, because Chris doesn't take on a lot of new guys.
So this was interesting when I actually contacted him to the email on his fucking Instagram, and I didn't think it was gonna work because everyone says it doesn't work. Yeah. And he actually answered me right away. He's like, "What's your weight?" Because I was like, "Chris, I would like to really work." Because he likes it. He's very monotone. He likes it plain and simple. Yeah. I was like, "I would love to work with you," and I told him who I was working with before, and I wasn't liking how I was getting treated and stuff like that. So
who did you work with before?
Mr. Neil Hill.
Okay. So you didn't get along with him?
He's a great coach, great advocate. Just we didn't see eye to eye.
Okay. And he lives right in the neighborhood.
Honestly, he is in my neighborhood.
Okay.
So, but after that, he said yeah, and then one day, me and Neil got into like a little bit of an argument, and then I said, "Hey, I think it's best to part ways." He agreed, and
the funny thing is it because your personalities are similar? Because he's very intense, and you're intense.
I think because I guess you could say he said I was annoying.
Oh, so he didn't like the fact that you asked a lot of questions.
Yeah, I asked a lot. He wanted me to put it all in one sentence, and I didn't do that.
Right.
I'm sorry, I'm just like that, but I'm not going to change.
Well, so but that's who you are, and you're paying, so I mean, you should be able to ask questions. I always tell people, I say, look, you got me, you can ask me unlimited questions. If you don't ask me any questions, it's not my fault. And if you ask me too many, I'm never going to complain about it, because I gave you that ability to
and he was straight up honest. Yeah. He's like, "Okay, mate, best of luck." And I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, maybe he's too busy. Maybe he's too busy. So Chris takes you on, and actually, I'm going to tell you from Chris's perspective. Chris didn't realize, because a lot of times you start working with someone, you see they have good structure, and then as they get closer to the show, you start to really see how good they are. And I don't think Chris realized how good you were going to look once you got into shape. And then he was very, obviously surprised by it.
I mean, it was because, dude, when I first started bodybuilding, I always wanted to work with Chris.
Right.
I just didn't. Everyone kept floundering the whole, he's so expensive. And he's really not.
He's not. He just doesn't train. He doesn't work with everyone. He just will pick and choose who he wants.
Well, he doesn't like the sob story. Like, if I'm going to give you guys advice, do not write him the whole, I've been competing for this many years. I've worked with this, that. He doesn't want to hear that. Yeah. Just send him a picture of front and back, and then he'll decide if he works with you or not.
Yeah, he kind of picks the guys that he thinks has good
Exactly.
potential. That's really what it amounts to. But
I mean, and he's not about the money. He's just about the credit.
No, he's a real estate guy. He does because he likes it. So you're working with Chris, super intense. Going back and forth. You start getting closer to Niagara Falls Pro Show, and you're like, let's talk about nationals first. So when does Chris make the decision for you to do a classic?
I asked him, and he said, because a couple guys just kept annoying me about it, because it was going to be a welterweight class, and basically the same. It's 165, 164. Sure. It's the same weight, and I had a mean vacuum. I had a great vacuum, great small waist, and I had some classic poses. I needed to work on some classic poses because I was always like a grinder bodybuilder, like most muscular, all this stuff like that. And long story short, I was like, fuck, I'm gonna do it.
So he's like, let's do it.
He's like, do it. He's like, I think that's a good idea.
So he sucks you down. You make the weight. You win your pro card. You decide I'm going to take off a whole year. I'm going to compete at the end of 2019. Smart move, obviously, giving yourself as much time as possible. You don't want to wait till 2020, which actually turned out to be a good move on your part because you actually qualified for the Olympia already.
Yeah, I did it because I was looking at all the shows coming up to it, and the first thing I honestly wish, if I can go back in time, I wish I did Tampa, and I think I could have done really good at Tampa, in my opinion. But Chris wanted me to do a show earlier. It was funny because we were at the Olympia and I was working the booth at Blackstone's, and this was earlier this year, and we just started prep. I was actually pretty lean, and he goes, "Watch, you ain't gonna be working this booth next year."
Oh yeah. He told me that story. He said, and PJ's like, "What do you mean?"
And PJ's like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, he's gonna be on the Olympia stage.
Yeah, he told you that. Which is, Chris doesn't really make many predictions, so.
Dude, man, he has an eye.
The last prediction he made was that Sean was going to win the Olympia, and he did. Yeah. So, all right. So you decided we're going to do these last two pro shows of the year of 2019, correct, which I think is a good move because you haven't done a show yet. A lot of times, guys, they don't like to diet at the end of the year. It's the holidays, or they're burnt out
honestly,
from the whole year.
I always fuck myself when I end up dieting towards the end of the year every time. But in this case, I saw the shows that are coming up. Niagara looked good, and I saw there was Olympia qualification. And if you play your cards right, why not do those shows?
Right. But then you see Rough Diesels in the show, you're like, oh man. But
I honestly wasn't.
At this point, it's your first pro show, so you don't care. You just want to kind of.
I just want to see it. I honestly want to see how I stand against him. Right. And I saw he is a lot bigger. Yeah. And granted, in my opinion, I think I was more conditioned. Now,
but for the Battle of Texas, you were probably the shortest and smallest guy in the lineup, and you beat everyone.
Yeah, got a lot of hate for it, but
that's hey, you didn't. You're not on the judging panel. The judges picked you first.
I'll just say this: the judges looked at me and they saw the stage composure. Yeah, they saw that I wanted to bring the stage alive.
Well, what I will say is, I was shocked to see that the top 5 guys all were in terrific condition, striated glutes, good presentations, at least from the pictures that I saw. I wasn't there, obviously. And, for an end-of-the-year show, I'm thinking, how come the guys on the Olympia stage could look like this in the open? You guys were better conditioned than the top Olympia guys. Did you think you had a shot at winning it?
I initially saw top 5. And then coming in, I was going to look at the competition, but I didn't. And honestly, looking at all these guys, they were shredded to the bone, and they were huge.
Now, you tell me if this is a true story. Chris told me that, he had another person in the show, Jonathan Hambrick, who you actually called him up after prejudging and told him, I think he's going to win or something like that?
Yeah.
Did you think Jonathan was going to beat you? And he wound up in 4th, obviously.
Yeah, no, I mean, Jonathan looked insane, dude.
Yeah. He's tall.
He's fucking aesthetic as fuck.
He's very tall, too. Yeah.
And he's very tall. Dude, and thing is, Instagram shows, a person, you think maybe they're cocky, bro, but he's the most humble dude you ever meet.
Yeah, but I've never seen anyone who actually has won a show or who actually will give credit to another person like you have, which is very honest.
Well, apparently backstage, a lot of people had a comment saying I was some cocky little fuck, but I wasn't.
But the reason I bring up that story is what you said to Chris is because you obviously were honestly said, I thought he was going to beat me. That was honest. Whereas most people, after they win a show, they're like, I had this hands down. No one touched me, that kind of thing.
Oh, it was a hard show, bro.
Yeah.
Everyone brought their shit. I mean, there was this one guy, African Lion, his Instagram name is. Dude looked amazing.
Yeah, I thought all the guys in the top 5 I was very impressed with. For an end-of-the-year show, tremendous. Which just tells me that the classic physique division is getting better and better every year.
It's getting harder. These guys are bringing it.
What'd you weigh on stage?
Probably about one. We aimed for 182, 183.
Oh, so you were at the top of the class.
Yeah, I was heavy. Because we started carbon up right after that. So
Now, is that a problem moving forward with you at limiter?
he just said I can't go as hard as I did last year.
Well, I mean, does that bother you that you have to like kind of limit your growth at this point, or do you want to move up to another?
I don't want to be
class?
bigger.
You don't want.
No.
You don't want to be like a 212 guy.
Nope.
Okay. Well, then you're in the right division.
The thing is, minds do change over the years, so we'll see.
Because the only reason I ask you that, it's not like you're 35 years old. You're a very young guy in your early 20s.
It's more about like what's the risk you have to take to get there.
True. Now you have a full-time job. You work for
Correct.
Blackstone Labs. You've worked your way up from the ground to the top sales manager there. Yeah. And how do you do that? I mean, you got to be super intense because
dude, I'm
most
nonstop.
bodybuilders cannot work a full-time job.
I'm nonstop. I can eat and talk on the phone at the same damn time. It's probably the most rudest thing in the world.
So you go into the office every single day?
Every single
9
day.
to 5?
9 to 5. And ask PJ, I was on the road the whole time for prep.
Really?
Yeah,
just
and
visiting
sales.
like locations and stuff like that. Well,
And
that's probably easier for you because you kind of have your own schedule at that point.
It was scary at first, and then I was like, fear is only one option. You either take it or you don't take it.
Yeah, but I would imagine as a bodybuilder you would like that because you can kind of stop. You can go to the gym when you want. You have your food with you. You eat when you want. There's no one overlooking you. You go in to see accounts. You probably enjoy that. You talk to the people.
I mean, I like that. I'm a desk jockey, dude.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. That's the reason I like being on a desk and freaking.
You
typing.
do. You like that whole routine of going in, sitting at the desk, picking up the phone.
After this year, not anymore, because I loved actually. Guy Cicinino kind of lives that lifestyle where he's like always traveling, going to different gyms, going to different stores, going to different things. And honestly, like I feel like I excelled so much more in sales by doing that. Because face to face in person, when they see you, they're like,
"Oh, they love it's yeah." I wish I could be on the road. I wish I can clone myself and send myself on the road.
Like, no, dude. Like you said, Skype call. I was like, no, I'll come to you.
Yeah.
Even if you were like 10 hours away, I'll drive.
Right. Well, that's why you're successful. A lot of people are lazy. I can't get guys that are that are. I'm willing to give them an interview to promote them, and they're like, "Oh, I don't have any time." I'm like, "What do you mean? You don't do anything. You don't even have a job."
Honestly, Dave, I was wishing you were gonna. I was waiting. When I got that text message. I was so hyped.
Yeah, no, I wanted to get you on the show, but because I know you had a good story, and I know you worked. Like I said, there's not many bodybuilders that have full-time jobs and are able to do that. Give me an idea of how you structure your day. Do you have any free time ever to yourself?
No.
Okay. So give me your schedule. You wake up in the morning.
I wake up in the morning about 5 a.m.
All right.
First thing I do is obviously you do your little vitamin protocol in the morning. I take a shit and I read. Either the last book was 6 Sexes of Choice by Rich Piento.
So you read a book in the morning. You actually wake up early to read.
Stimulate the brain.
How long do you do that for?
20 minutes. I time it on my iPhone. Then go. And then I go do cardio. But first I do 5 sets of 10 pull-ups. Superset with one ab exercise, whether it's trans abdominis or just something like that.
Okay.
And then I do cardio, depending on what Chris says for cardio.
Right. This is
brisk walk.
Assuming we're doing a contest prep yet.
Let's say just Stairmaster, 30 minutes.
All right.
Level 6. Get done. Walk the dogs. Come home. I have Chihuahua and I have a little Palm. They're amazing. Italian leggera.
I got a teacup Maltese.
They're amazing.
York,
and then get back, make all my meals. I usually start a little bit of work while I'm at home. Like I'll be cooking the meals in my boxers, and then
check my
emails, stuff like that. And then usually because your fiber product, I end up taking another shit.
That's good.
And
why we like to
so
move the waste out.
Then I'm on my phone and I do my normal post where it's like posting the stores. And then I check Blackstone's Instagram, make sure to answer all the stories.
What time are we at now?
We're at 7:35.
You've already had a full day. Most people's whole day is over by now.
Dude, I can knock out so many things.
All right, so 7. What time do you go into the office?
I'm in there about 10:15. If it's they know I'm working. If I'm late, I'm working.
Right.
So 10:15, I'm there.
What time does PJ get to the office?
He's usually around there about 12, and he can sporadically stay there all day, sporadically leave, come back. I mean, dude, he has so many. The man's so good at marketing. It's just like he does so many. You don't know. He's all over the place.
He's got his own schedule. Okay, so you have your thing to do. He knows what he does. Everyone. Who else is in the office? How many other people you got there?
Let's see, 30 something.
Oh, there's that many people working for you guys?
20, 29, 30.
Most of them warehouse people?
No, all around. I mean, we have.
How many salespeople you have there?
We have 8 call center. Well, the call center, customer service call center.
Right.
2 salespeople. It's me and JR.
Okay.
You know JR, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's us 2. We run the whole United States and international.
Awesome. Okay. So you work from 9 to whatever 5.
Honestly, dude, I was there till 9:35 last night.
Now, when do you work out? Weights?
So for instance, for that, like I haven't been training now here, but I'll go home I'll leave work at like 5:15, go train at my either the gym across the street or my my apartment complex gym. Then I'll go back into work on my laptop.
So you'll run out.
And then, depending on how I feel, usually I couldn't sleep, so I just literally keep working. I told BJ this the other day, like work.
You must be a really fun guy to hang around. You're like me. You're like totally intense into work.
Yeah, no, it keeps me sane. You know what I mean?
Right, so like when Christmas comes or something like that, like and there's nothing open, you probably don't know what the freak to do with yourself.
No,
right?
I don't know what to do. Like no, so when
you'll read a book all day.
Yeah, no, I literally that's kind of funny because like I hated reading back in high school. I've read in this whole prep, I read 12 books.
Wow.
It literally nonstop.
Well, it takes your mind off the food too.
100%.
Right, I mean, because people don't realize, if you don't, I always tell people. You cannot have as an option cheating. It cannot be an option on your list. So you have to have something else that you can do. I used to leave the house.
No, I would just always
wait for clean.
I would wait for that burger and fries from Rosito. Yeah. But dude, if you ask for it, you're fucked.
He'll give it to you when you don't expect it.
Oh,
hell. You're at the death's door.
Like I was surprised on Thanksgiving. He's like, have whatever you want. Well, and I was surprised
because he knew that you can't do damage in one meal. And you know what the funny thing is, when you're that lean. Your stomach is so shrunk up, you really can't eat that much. You think you ate a lot, and you probably felt so guilty about it, and you probably really didn't even eat that much.
I couldn't even eat that much. The stomach was so shrunk. I mean, I ate a lot after post-show. That was insane. I look a lot more swollen.
So what's the agenda for 2020? You take the whole year off, or what?
No. I already have a strategic plan. I'm going to have to book the Platinum when I get back, because that's where he's staying. So.
Well, I know you get the Olympia, but are you going to do anything before that? You are going to do Tampa.
100%.
Now, why is that? Just because you want to have a warm-up?
Well, I'm going to still show face.
Okay.
I think it's even if I don't win it or whatever, if I don't even place, it doesn't matter. It's just they know I'm there. Okay. They know I'm still. I think it's the best thing because it's 5 to 6 weeks from Olympia.
Right.
And
I never understood how guys did shows like that and then waited another 5 or 6 weeks. That would be maddening for me.
No, because you increase in condition. I feel like it, especially when we get down to that certain point of
But
diet.
I know in Tampa you're going to be perfect. You're going to be peaked out.
I'll be peaked out, but I'll look even insane.
But then you got to hold it for 5 or 6 weeks. That's tough. I hated that. I used to hate holding it for 2 weeks. I thought it was. I think it was the best advantage with the 3 week difference I had because then I got to the whole week. Like he gave me, we were at 250 carb. Right,
and that's our low days were at 75.
Well, you were ready. You were in shape.
I mean, but I felt great, and we backed off the gear, and it was good.
Well, I want to congratulate you on the big win again.
Appreciate that.
And congratulations on being the national sales manager for Blackstone Labs, and everything seems to be going well in your life. You're not blown into any kind of breathalyzers anymore, and you're on the way up. You're going to the Olympia in 2020.
Exactly.
So best of luck, and keep us updated. Yeah, definitely. And you're going to hang around. We're going to do an after-hour show now. So since you're here, we're gonna get you on with Valentino and Romano. Can you handle those guys?
Why not?
All right. Dave Palumbo here with Sami Ghanem for Tyler Shard, producer. There you go. We'll see you next time.